G'day everyone, welcome to Amps, Pedals and Pickups. Today we're going to be checking out the Peavey 6505 Plus that I have in STL Amphub because they just dropped a new update. We're going to be checking out the 6505 Plus that they just brought out, and at the end of the video we're going to be doing a quick comparison of the real deal that I have sitting over there versus this one. I'm very excited to be checking this one out. Let's not waste any more time and get straight to it. Alright, so just loaded up Amphub here. This is the new Meridian 65 Plus. Meridian being the place where Peavey resides. A very good little name there. So this is everything on default. They land you on the lead channel. That's pretty much all I'm going to be looking at here. So let's take a look at everything here. Let's listen to it at noon. This is using the default cabs that come with everything. We'll go into the cab section a little bit later, but we'll just leave it for now, whatever's being used. So let's just hear how it sounds as is. Pretty decent. I know that there's definitely a lot of pushing that we can do. The stomp boxes, I'm just going to load this up first. This is pretty much how I build a chain in general. I know that I'm going to use a TS style, and because the Bad Monkey is worth so much money on the secondhand market, it's obviously the most expensive pedal that we can get here. So I want to use the most expensive stuff, have the best signal chain going on. So I'm going to engage that. Crank your level all the way up. Now everybody knows that a typical guitarist doesn't touch the tone stacks. So I'm going to leave them. Drop the gain. That's like your basic TS9 settings that we got going on there. Now here, let's slowly increase the gain and see how that sounds. So even just that is giving us a little bit more. Let's get the gain going. The best part about working with a sim like this is we can come back and revisit this stuff. So once I start tracking, I can come back and start pushing and pulling. So I don't really have to be like, I don't have to dial things in like an amp where I'm going to like commit a whole session and get that sort of thing going. So if I don't quite hit the mark here, it's fine. It's, you know, don't beat yourself up on that stuff. We're just trying to get a good sound sort of under the hands. Once we have that, we can start fine tuning things. So that is so beastly to play. That sounds awesome. There we go. Got the 666 going on. The post gain, you know, in the real world, I run this stuff pretty low, just going into the LoadBox. Now the presence, I usually do push up a little bit. Let's see how this is sounding. Yeah, I'm not just listening to that low end. I'm not really missing too much. Let's pull it down, see if it's drastic. Man, something that so many sims don't get right is it just doesn't feel good under the hands. This has that new wave of our amp sim thing going on. It feels so good. Just makes you want to chug so much. Oh yeah, I'm going to drop A sharp here. I probably should have mentioned that at the beginning of the video. But honestly, if I'm just tracking something, I think we're in a pretty good place now. This is the sort of thing that we'll have to fix up in the mix later on. But let's do some tracking with this. All right, so everything's pretty good here. What I'm going to do now is just sweep the knobs so we can hear the differences and everything. Realistically, I'd be happy with this tone now, and I would only be changing the knobs when it came to mix time. I would totally track a whole song or album's worth of stuff with this. It is just absolutely good to go. But let's go through the knobs, see how everything sounds, and then we'll do a bit of playthrough. Not a ton of lateral movement. You know, this isn't, to me, this isn't one of those amps that's like crazy versatile. It's like, you know what sort of sound you're going for. Just adjust it to match the guitar. Just use that basic EQ tone stack to make it like as least blankety as possible, and then you're good to go. you know, I've been using this sim for like collectively half an hour now. I think it is so good now. So let's do a bit of a playthrough, and then I'll show you it in a mix, and then we're going to take that mix's DI tracks, run them through the real 6505 Plus, and see how everything sounds. Let's take a look at the session I got going on here. So the green is the rhythm guitars, the blue is the lead. Just got a little bit of a lead section going on there in the beginning. I'm using One Kit Wonder metal for the drums, Eurobass 3. I'm not going to go too deep into the mix, but just trust me, there's not a lot going on here. You can see the plugins that I'm using, super basic stuff here. So what you're hearing here, if your guitar is sounding similar to mine, your bass and drums should sound very similar. Get some like just very basic processing going on. This is how things should be sounding. We'll hear things in solo in a little bit, but let's just take a listen to how everything is now. So pretty cool. That is definitely a lot better than the pre-pro stuff I was doing many moons ago. So this Amphub instance that I have here is the rhythm. You can see all the settings for the cabs. What was I using? Just those default IRs. I wasn't even using my different IR, so the exact stock ones. I didn't even move the mic positions. Everything is absolute stock. So let's listen to the guitars in solo. So what I'm going to do is I'll turn the processing off those guitars. I'll just end up reamping these leads. So let's just take a listen to the raw DIs. That's what those are sounding like. I'm going to reamp it through the 6505 Plus, drop them into this session. We'll take a listen to how that sounds. All right, just finished reamping everything on the 6505 Plus with a boost pedal. I matched the settings 1-for-1. I'll show that on screen there. So that's what we have here. So the tracks are labeled here. You got the Amphub rhythm, and then you got the 6505 tracks. Let's just take a listen at a glance to how things are sounding. You know, just listening like that, you're like, that was actually a lot closer than I thought. So what I did is I took those same tracks and I just split them up. Let's have a listen here in solo, just cutting them up. Once again, that's a 6505. Everything's labeled. You should be able to see it. Let's have a quick listen back and forth. Now, honestly, I did not expect things to sound that good dead on. That is literally taking the amp sim settings and putting that exactly on the hardware, and that's how close you're getting. I know there's differences, but you can't tell me that's like a stark, you know, night and day difference. It's really not that different. So what I did is I took it one step further. I then duplicated the instance of Amphub down here, and I tweaked Amphub to sound a little bit more like the hardware. And that's kind of how I expected this stuff if you were wanting that one-to-one sound. So let's take a listen now. Things should sound a lot closer. Man, I almost lost words how close that is. I didn't expect this thing to be like faithful recreation to the thing. I thought it would just sound good and be in the ballpark, but you honestly can't tell me that those are like night and day differences, especially if you like bury things in the mix. I am super impressed with that sound. So let's go back to the whole hog. We'll play it in a mix. So with the adjusted Amphub with the original 6505 Plus, let's see in a mix if we can even hear the differences of this stuff going back and forth. Man, that is just so impressive. I know there's differences, there's like very small stuff, but I'm very convinced that that comes down to like just the user dialing things in. I really have spent no time doing it. I think I spent an extra like 2 minutes dialing things in. I'm sure if I really went in there and, you know, did things, definitely get the mileage. And if you weren't A-Bing them, if you were just using the sim, I think you would be very happy with those results. So yeah, all in all, the Meridian 65 Plus based on the 6505 Plus, I think is excellent. It feels good as a guitarist. And like I said, one of the best things about this workflow is you can play. It's very inspiring to play. I tend to dial things in a lot more heavy-handed. I smash the gain. I have like the worst settings when I play things live as a guitarist because, you know, hashtag guitarist things. But the best thing about that is you've got the DI there, and then when you put the guitar down, put it in the corner, hit that play button, and you hear things back in the cold light of day, and you're like, oof, my settings, what was I thinking? So easy to go in there and save things, or sorry, redial things in. You can save your like players preset that feels really good to play and track, and then you can have like a mixing preset with no reamping, nothing really involved, just a preset. So having that one piece of software that doesn't take any, you know, one-to-one tracking in real time, like chewing up time, it's real time. You can just change a different preset, start tweaking things on the fly. Super handy. I am absolutely loving the workflow, and the sound at this point in time is like second to none. It is, I don't want to say flawless, but you know, it's basically flawless. It is so good at the moment. Hey, just out of interest, if you've been an Amphub user and you're really loving the platform, drop some comments below. Let me know your favorite amps. I think I'm going to be doing a couple more videos on this because I'm really liking the suite here. I think I'm going to do an annual sub because I really like how everything's sounding. So if you've got any hacks or anything cool going on in the Amphub world, let me know. Let me know what you thought about the video, how you think the 6505 Plus or the Meridian 65 Plus is sounding. I think it sounds awesome. If you stayed to the end of the video, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Everything helps. As always, thanks for staying around to the end of the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.